Welcome to Work From Your Happy Place, the podcast that equips you with the tools, know-how, and motivation to live your dreams and find your happy place. Be sure to sign up for our free weekly newsletter for a recap of the week's guests and a preview of what's in store. To sign up, simply text the word Happy Place with no space to 33444. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce the host of Work From Your Happy Place, Belinda Ellsworth.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Work From Your Happy Place. It's your host, Belinda Ellsworth, and I'm here with your Tuesday Tip. If you're new to Work From Your Happy Place, we have excellent interviews with business entrepreneurs on Mondays. We have amazing interviews with artistic entrepreneurs on Thursdays, and then you get to hear a Tuesday tip from me, your host, on just some business strategies and tips that might be helpful for you in managing your business and learning to work from your happy place. Today, we are going to talk about decision fatigue. Is this a real thing? Actually, it is. I had heard this term and thought, wow, decision fatigue. That's exactly how I'm feeling right now. And I was making tons of decisions for things in a day that I really did not need to do. And they were taking a toll on me that was not allowing me to be as creative and to have as much energy for my clients and the big things that I needed to show up for. So when I heard this term, I did a little bit more research into it and actually found that it is a true thing. And wow, did it make so much sense. And I wanted to pass this on to you because in making some simple changes, I was able to actually feel more relaxed. I remember one day saying to myself, not too terribly long ago, wow, I'm doing this show on working from my happy place, and I don't feel like I'm very happy right now. What's causing this, and what can I do to get back to being in my happy place? And actually, it was that simple. It was taking some decisions off of my plate so that I could actually enjoy more of my day because I wasn't bogged down with this decision fatigue. So let's talk about what is that? Exactly what it says is making multiple decisions in a day. In fact, the average person makes thousands of decisions every single day. And so the more that we can eliminate so that we're not so bogged down or feeling so overwhelmed with that, the easier it is going to make and the happier that we are going to be in our everyday lives and in our businesses. So let's talk about 3 key things that you can do to help with decision fatigue. The very first one is, what decisions can I make ahead of time? Now, this is one where I actually think I'm pretty good at. And the reason I'm pretty good at it is I've been doing it and being self-employed for a number of years. But it's when I get lazy in them that I start to recognize that I'm not feeling quite as happy or relaxed in my business or in my day as I really could or should be. So what are some things that you can do to make decisions ahead of time that could help you? The first is simply, what are you going to wear in a day? Now, I know that this is a simple thing, but oftentimes what you're going to choose to wear, if you are leaving for work, if you're going to show up on video, what you're going to do for your guest appearance on such and such show, whatever the case may be, the more that you can think that out ahead of time, so that you don't have to make the decision when you have so many other crazy things on your plate, the easier it is going to be. Many times, if you've raised kids at all, you know that this made your getting ready for school 10 times easier when you had your children lay their clothes out the night before so that they weren't spending all that time crying and whining in the morning about they didn't know what to wear to school and they needed help, and you're trying to make lunches and get them out the door, and it just makes for a crazy, stressful morning. And so one of those things that can help is figuring out what they're going to wear ahead of time and having them lay it out which helps them to be able to do more of that themselves. The more that you can instill some of these things in kids when they're young, they'll actually grow up with them a lot more and be better at it. So things like what you're going to wear, things like what you're going to eat. And I know that this can sound so simple, but in the morning, if you've got a short time before work, what's something that you can eat and make really simple and yet be healthy for you if that's what you are trying to accomplish? Lunches, that's another whole thing. We sometimes spend so much extra money because if you have to go to work and you take a lunch, then it's like, okay, what am I going to do? Oh, I don't have anything to make right now. Oh, I don't have time to make a lunch. You know what? I'm just going to buy lunch again today. So if you really are trying to save in that way, or you want to have less decisions, then make your lunch the night before and have it all packed and ready to go. And that can make your morning routine so much simpler if you're just ready to head out the door. Meal prepping is one for me when I do meal prepping for dinners, meaning two things. One, knowing what you're going to make, like sitting down, the family together and saying, okay, what is our menu? Going grocery shopping, picking the things out for that menu. That'll also help you never feel like, wow, we have nothing in the house to eat. I'm sure you've heard your kids say that 100 times. And sometimes I felt that way myself, right? But if you plan your meals accordingly, then you know. That's one half of meal prepping. The other for me, because I get so busy in a day, so sometimes lunch and even sometimes dinner is catch it when I can. Because when I have super busy days, like I'm taping all day long for my podcasts, I have clients back to back. A lot of times, especially with lunch, it can be difficult. Dinner can be too. So on Sundays, this is what I do sometimes. Now, I'm not great about it all of the time, but on Sundays, I will make up meals for the week. So in little, Tupperware containers or Rubbermaid containers where you have a meat, a vegetable, maybe it's some rice or what is your meal. And then I just put all of them in the fridge and I have them for the week. And so literally, if I have 5 minutes between clients, I can go take one of those out, microwave it for about 1 minute, sit down and eat it, and I've got a healthy meal. This also is what contributes to greater success when I'm trying to lose weight or eat healthy. So making these decisions ahead of time. The other thing that can be helpful with this is scheduling. So I like to schedule all of my things on the same days all of the time. So when I get out of bed in a day, I don't have to make a lot of decisions about what my day is going to look like or what do I need to get done in that day or what time frames do I have pockets of where I can get things done. I know that it's Tuesday and it's going to be my podcast day. I know that I have one client call and it's at this time. In fact, I like to make a lot of my client calls at the exact same time so that I know that this one is on Tuesday, this one is on Wednesday, and so on, but they're roughly at the same time. Then I just know that's my client call and I'm getting mentally prepared for that. It makes my day so much easier. It makes me enjoy my day so much better. And I'm actually more relaxed, which causes me to work from my happy place instead of being stressed. So as many decisions as I can make ahead of time is going to certainly help me with this decision fatigue. What are some other things that contribute to this? The next one is, can someone else make the decision? Now, I've always been pretty good about this, but I have to say with my staff, for example, or even your children, if you're letting them make decisions about how they're going to clean their room or how they're going to clean the living room, for example, if you've given them this chore or this task, it's like, let them decide. You don't have to micromanage everyone. And this is what so many employers actually do with their employees. I have always been really good about saying, no, You take care of this. No, I'm going to let you have this. But when COVID happened, everybody just sort of like shrank inward, and we were really on a lean and tight group here, and we were trying to make the most of our time, cut back a few hours because we had less income coming in. And so what happened is I also took that time to sort of reinvent myself and reinvent my business. I'm like, I've got time to be still and be quiet and say, if this were a brand new company, what would I do different? So in doing that, I was making a lot of new decisions. And what I found is, and we were doing lots of new things. And so my staff then was coming to me for every single little decision. It was exhausting. And one day I just realized when I read this article, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm exhausted. And it was like, we're going to make this post today. Do you want this picture or this picture or this picture or this picture? I'm like, I don't care. Pick a picture that you think goes with the theme of the article. You're smart, you're talented, and I know you can do this. And so I had to really give that ownership back to them and say, do you want this? So-and-so called, do you want to meet them at 4? Do you want to meet them at 2? I don't know. Look at my schedule and pick the best time for me to meet with them. Like, I didn't need to make all of those decisions. And somehow this had happened. And I think it was because we pushed reset. And when we did that, then all of a sudden it was like everybody was coming to me with every decision. It's just like my customer service rep. She'll come to me and explain an entire situation about a customer. And then I'll say, oh gosh, we'll offer her this or do this. Well, what I thought I would do is just this. And I'm like, okay, then do that. Like, I give them full permission. Like, if it's something and it's under whatever, like a free gift or a free something, depending on the size of the problem, if it's really big, then come to me and make me aware of it and let me know. But otherwise, you know what? You have my full permission to take care of this customer the best way you see fit according to the situation. And I'm not ever going to get mad. I'm giving you that full reign. If they do something that I say, ooh, I would have done that way different, we have a discussion about it. But it's still move on and still keep moving. You still don't have to come to me. So if a person already knows the answer, then why are they coming to you to ask for your opinion? So oftentimes it's because you don't really let them shine or give them permission to be the best that they can be. And it's the only way that they'll learn to grow is to start to make some of those decisions. And then you can come back and say, oh, you know what? Here's a thought, not here's how I would have done it differently, but here's a thought for next time. And then they might go, oh, that's a good idea. Okay, great. So I've just found that this is a good way to communicate, but to also take some of those decisions off of your plate. And then the last one is really an important one, and that is we bog ourselves down with things we need to figure out or make decisions on. And honestly, can it wait? Can it be put on hold? Is it something that needs to be made right now? Oftentimes we stress ourselves out in acting like everything is an emergency. Everything needs to be handled right now. I just heard an awesome TED Talk recently from an emergency room doctor who was talking about this very thing and said, you need to treat your life or your business like triage in an emergency room. And I loved that. And I've actually been really keeping that in the forefront of what is going on in our business, because a lot of times things feel like an emergency, but they're really not. They're not critical. And so when you have a lot to do in a day, start to sort of triage it. Like, does it need my immediate attention? And can it wait? Okay, I can wait on that until tomorrow or until Friday, and I will revisit that. This can be helpful for you in taking this stress off of your plate. The other thing with this is, does it have to be done right now? Is really figuring out. One of the things I do in the beginning of each day is I call it my hot list. And call it like the red zone of a triage. It is, this has to get done today, no matter what. And I only allow myself about 5 of those. 5, that's the ones that have to happen today. Occasionally I'll let that go on to 10, but I don't ever create more than 10 of those because then your whole day is an emergency. So I reserve 5 for these need my immediate attention today. Then the next 5 things are my what. If I can get these done today, that would be great, but I'm not going to stress over it.